I'm Nathan Gorton. I'm the Government Affairs Director of your Washington REALTORS. I'm here to do a quick recap of the legislative session that we just all went through. This year, Washington State had what they call a long legislative session, 105 days where they adopt a budget. In addition to adopting a budget, of course, they adopted numerous other policy bills, some of which had to do with real estate. This was a challenging session because it was done virtually, which really impeded my ability to wait outside committee hearing rooms to badger lawmakers into doing what we would like them to do. It's a little harder to do that virtually. So we're looking forward to next session when we get to be back in person again. This session ultimately ended with some pretty good wins for Washington Realtors and their clients. In November, we did a survey of our members, and we had a lot of responses asking our members what they want us to focus on in Olympia. Not surprising, the number one issue was taxes on you, your brokerage, and your clients. I've been doing this now for 10 years. Virtually every survey we've done, taxes have been the number one issue. That's understandable. We're a trade association. We're supposed to look out for your pocketbook and your client's pocketbook. So it's not surprising that that's, again, the number one issue. Number two issue is inventory. We know that there's a severe lack of inventory in every community across the state. Realtors want Olympia to do something about that. On the tax issue, we had some pretty good successes. Keep in mind, this is a 3-year run where 3 years ago we had the tiered real estate excise tax issue, which actually lowered the real estate excise tax for about 92% of all transactions. I know, commercial members who are throwing things at their computer screens, it didn't help you out that much and you kind of bore the brunt of that, but you'll also get a little bit more advantage with what we did this year. So it all kind of evens out. Also, last year, the legislature increased the B&O tax on most service businesses, but exempted real estate brokers from that increase. This year, we knew the majority party in the legislature was going to pass a capital gains tax. We've talked to the legislature about a capital gains tax and its possible impact on real estate for the last few years, and so this wasn't a new discussion for us. Ultimately, although the process was a little bumpy, we were able to exempt all real estate sales from a capital gains tax. Whether it's owner-occupied, whether it's investor-owned, whether it's residential or commercial or multifamily, whatever it may be, real estate is exempt from the new Washington State capital gains tax or capital gains income tax, depending on how you look at the issue. That was a big win for us, and we're really happy to report that to you all. Keep in mind, there still is a federal capital gains tax, and certainly the Biden administration is looking at that. So there's been a lot of chatter about that recently in the news. So that doesn't apply to the federal capital gains tax. That's just a new state capital gains tax, which will start in 2022, although you won't pay it until 2023 based on the gains that you realize in 2022. So that was good news on the tax issue. The inventory issue, we worked really hard and we had a couple of bills we were really excited about. Ultimately didn't get quite the same level of wins on inventory issues. We did pass a great bill that will make condos a little easier and a little cheaper to build. Will help builders with the financing of them. Will also help expand the list of people who can do some inspections so that builders aren't required to have a specialty inspector come out and look at their condo. So that'll lower the price of building a condo. Small win, but it's a win nonetheless. We were excited about that. We had a great bill that would have incentivized cities to do some upzoning by giving them money to do upzoning. And unfortunately, we couldn't quite get that past the finish line. But we'll be back next year with that bill. We're still really excited about that bill. And often bills like this need more than one session to pass. Additionally, we were able to kill a number of bills, whether it was a rent control proposal that was in the Senate, we were able to kill that, or bills that would have stopped housing by allowing comprehensive plans to be challenged because of either sort of environmental reasons like allowing too many vehicles miles traveled or salmon recovery efforts and things like that. While certainly those are issues that we care about, we want to make sure the legislature understands that we are in the middle of an immediate housing availability crisis, and that if they're going to do top-down measures like that, they also need to pay a little bit more attention to housing and also do some top-down measurements on housing. So I think that those are some of the big wins. We also worked with the legislature to try to make people more aware of racial covenants that may be on their title and the simple and free way that homeowners can redact those racial covenants. So that was a nice win. We were excited about that. All in all, I think a pretty good 105-day session for the realtors, but certainly looking forward to doing it more in person. I know what you're thinking. It would be great if I had this written down somewhere. Well, you're in luck. Go to the Washington Realtor website, go to the government affairs page. We have a legislative recap that talks about this and a number of other victories this session. Feel free to share that with your colleagues, with your clients, and let them know what realtors are doing for them. I think that's important. Also, you can go and visit myneighborwa.com, where there's more detail on some of these bills that we pursued, along with who sponsored the bills, so you can see if your legislator was among the sponsors of all of these bills. And really, it's a great website that also has city-by-city information on housing numbers, housing affordability, housing availability that was put together by our friends at the University of Washington. Go Dogs! And hopefully you'll find that to be a valuable resource. I appreciate you taking a few minutes today to hear about what we were able to accomplish in the legislature. Thank you for your time, and thank you for being a member of Washington Realtors.